Gracias. Hello. Welcome to Melee Man Street. How you doing? How you doing? It's good to see you. It's good to see everyone today. Oh my gosh. Woo! I was feeling pretty tired this morning. Just really sluggish. I had to wake up early and drive my sis places because reasons and just, working a regular job sucks. You know, but we family, we stick together. Times are hard. We gotta solve our problems together when we can, right? Right. Just good stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just feeling really sluggish. Ugh. So yeah, recently I got approached. Actually, I was in this Discord, right? The guys who made Voice Cell, right? I think it was let me check. Let me do a little quick checkup right here, right? So the guys who did VoiceCell run a Discord called Raccoon Capital HQ, right? Right. Oh wow, they're still doing it. Wow, they're still doing it. But yeah, if you want to check it out, it's it's voicecell.org. It's like voice and then CEL. But anyways, so he was having this project that he wanted me to. We didn't really want me to work on it. It was kind of like a who can do it first kind of thing. So it was kind of like it's more like a little miniature unspoken hackathon, if you know what I mean. It's unspoken hackathon. No one's getting paid for it, obviously. I don't think this guy has any money. Honestly, I think he's just screwing around, saying that he has money and he's like paid this dev like $12,000 apparently to like develop this really simple application, right? It's really simple. All it does is what it does is you have to create a chat room, right? And you invite people with a link or something like that. And then once you get two people in there, you have an AI that will generate like situations in which you have to convince the AI to pick player one or player two. So like let's say you had an ice cream cone, it's the last one, right? And the AI is playing the part of the ice cream man, and your task as either player is to convince the ice cream man why you need it the most, or why you need the ice cream cone the most. So it's like one of those. It's like one of those. It's a very simple game. And he's been recommending some stuff. He's been saying stuff like, "Oh, well, we could try this AI from Poe.com or something like that." And he showed me this, and I asked him about it. But yeah, $12,000 for something that simple. It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't have to be that simple. In fact, I know someone who's already done the work for me, which is great. So I think I have an advantage in this situation. I don't need to go to ChatGPT to generate the situation for me. We already have an open source AI bot on IRC that can do that job for me. And I've tried to bring it up to my friend. I'm not gonna name drop her, but she's really good at AI. It's been a very badass dev. But I was thinking about using her bot in order to do some simple jobs. The bot needs to make its rent, right? It might turn into a little miniature business, right? Entertaining people of the internet. So yeah. So the plan is what we're gonna do today. We're gonna talk about Svelte runes for a little bit, obviously. And then we're gonna do some coding, and I'm gonna get to the specifics about that in a minute. But yeah, so this guy, who made, I suppose he made him and like this other guy made voicecell.org. Apparently he's paying this guy like 12 grand just to make this simple thing. And he's just the dude's just literally draining him of money. It's like I can't believe it. But it's almost unbelievable. And he doesn't, I think he's been burned so bad that he doesn't trust me or anyone else in the chat to like do anything for him, even though I've shown him what I am capable of. And if you've ever seen, the Smash or Pass stream, you know what I'm capable of too. It's pretty. It's relatively simple what he's asking too. So yeah, the plan is we make a socket.io chat room, right? We have the players, play. We wait for them. Make sure everyone's ready. Then we have them. We once they're ready, we send up and have like either well, we call our bot GPT, or we call our AI GPT, or we will have GPT, right? Either generate the situation, or we just have some preset situations. I'll probably just have like a preset of 5 or something like that, just for testing, right? And then and that'll be fine. We'll just do it like that's how we'll test it, right? Have some 5 preset situations, and once both players are ready, we send that up to GPT, or GPT generates the situation, and then we give players a certain time limit, right, to submit their answers and to convince the bot why they deserve the last ice cream cone or something silly like that. And out of each situation, and then we can have like rounds or something like that, and whoever wins if we want to. But we should just keep it simple, just keep it simple, and just have it like one game per, just like have one game, and then we can keep score. We can do all sorts of crazy things, for funsies. But yeah, that's the point. That's the whole gist. And then the plan to get the data there, well, we'll just use an IRC. We'll just use IRC, and because I know that library pretty well. We'll use Node.js as well. And we can send requests to GPT, and GPT is pretty smart enough. I've already been like generating situations with GPT already, so I know that GPT is capable of this, which is great. I really appreciate that. Actually, I'll just say her name. I really appreciate Kate for developing this. I don't know if she knows that I'm doing this yet, but I'm sure she'll be fine with it. I'm sure she'll be fine with it. After all, she did release her bot to the internet, so it'll be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There is one small detail, however, that I've run into when oh, that's weird. Why is that showing my setup? That's weird. That shouldn't do that. Very weird. Anyway, so what's gonna happen? Yeah. We ran into a problem, right? While we were doing this last night. We already got started on it because I was so excited. Because I thought to myself, man, I could get this done in a week. Right. Well, I decided I was gonna use Hono.js. Hono, which means flame in Japanese. So this guy. Yeah. However, Hono does not have a easy way to serve files like index.html. So that is probably what we're going to try and figure out today after we discuss rooms. Okay. All right, let's get started. Let me find it. Okay, so this is from Rich Harris, right? He's going to go ahead and talk about it. So let's just go ahead and just take a listen. Oh yeah, that's right. Gotta turn this on. Okay, turn this on. This lovely Rich Harris. Someday I will probably look like him, but whatever. Oh well. But yeah. Smart, brilliant man over here. When he first introduced this to runes to me, and I saw what they look like. I've seen this video a couple times. Okay, when I was first introduced, it looks a lot like React, but there is one key difference between React and Svelte, right? And this is something that's very important to keep in mind. One of them is compiling to JavaScript. The other is shipping the whole framework in there. Okay, very, very important difference. Now, this is fresh off the press. It was released on the REPL, right? So you can go to the REPL and you can try this out. I don't know if we'll go to the REPL today, honestly. But I don't think we'll go to the REPL today. But I will try to explain it as best as I can, given the information from the source, which is Rich Harris over here. So let's give a listen.
Around and let's talk about Svelte 5.
Is it
A lot of you
playing?
know that we've been hard at
There it
work
goes.
on the next version of Svelte for a while now. And in this video, I'm going to share a preview of some of the new stuff and hopefully get you all as excited about it as we are. Before we do that, I want to talk about Svelte today. We like Svelte. We're proud of Svelte and all of the love that it gets in developer surveys and so on. We think it's the best way to build most web apps. But there are some undeniable pain points that you've probably encountered and which are difficult to fix with Svelte's current design. Let's look at a simple component that we might write today. We're declaring a character variable and using its value inside our template. Every time you update its value inside the event handler, the page automatically updates. Very cool, very easy to learn because there's no API, we're just using the language. If I want to add a derived value, I can do that with $label doubled equals count times 2, and that will be updated whenever count changes. There's a little gotcha here though. Because Svelte doesn't want to run.
I actually never used derived values in Svelte. I always just use let, you know. I've never had I've never had a use for derived, honestly. Um, but honestly, maybe it could work pretty well for me because I do some calculations. Like I could make my code a lot more terse if I use that. But I just don't see the I just don't see it as necessary. I like to write in a functional style, but for people who like to do this, this is nice and terse, but frankly, I think it just obfuscates things a bit too much. So
This code until it's sure that there are no other changes to take account of. It won't recalculate doubled until right before the DOM is updated. So if, for example, you log the values inside the increment function, you'll see that they get out of sync. Another gotcha is that the dependency tracking happens at compile time. What I mean by that is that the compiler looks at this expression on the right, this count times 2, and understands that the value of double is dependent on the value of count. But what if we refactor our code by having a double count function? The compiler can no longer see the dependency, which means that double will never be updated. This makes it a little hard to refactor code out of $label statements, which means that they tend to attract complexity. Now let's imagine that we want to
exactly, that's why I avoided them. They were hard to work with.
encapsulate this logic so that it can be reused. Perhaps we want to have multiple counters on the page. We might try wrapping it in a create counter function like this.
Exactly. That's exactly what I
This
do.
completely changes the meaning of the code. It no longer behaves the same way because it's no longer at the top level of the component.
Then just put it at the top level of the component, right? Which is also what I've done. Another thing you could do, I mean, yeah, you can have local scope, which is fine. You can do that. Sometimes I've had like init functions that I've just put at the bottom of the script tag, and then as soon as the script runs top down, it'll init, we'll run the function, everything's hunky-dory, everything's great, Um, and I think that's the beauty of Svelte. It's more, I think it's good to embrace more of the JavaScript side of it, and that's what really attracted me to Svelte. Especially when I tried to build a wallet, right? I was trying to build a wallet, an NFT wallet for Zilliqa. You probably haven't heard of Zilliqa unless you're in the crypto space, like you're deep in the crypto space and you are just obsessed with proof of work, like I was at the time. Proof of work is the only way to go, honestly, in my opinion. Proof of stake is, you know. I think it just inherently becomes centralized. But everyone says, oh well, blockchain inherently becomes centralized because blah 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 blah. Like it's regulatory captured by governments, and to some degree that's true. But it's a good first step, and I don't think it's something we should fault blockchain people for. It's definitely a valid criticism. Like I have valid criticisms for React and how they do things, and there's very valid criticism, especially when you're doing stuff like use memo in your React code, or you're doing stuff like use effect and not taking care of your effects, or there's lots of gotchas in React, honestly, that I've reviewed, and I've seen other people cover this too. But yeah, going back to that, what was I going to go back to? That's right. Anyway, yeah. I haven't slept well, so my brain just kind of blanked out. Oof. Anyway, let's go ahead and give it another listen.
The let no longer becomes magically reactive, and this $label has no special meaning at all. This is just an assignment to an undeclared variable. So at this point, we have to use a completely different mechanism. We have to use a custom store. First, we import writable from svelte/store, and then we create a writable store inside create counter so that we can steal its subscribe and update functions.
And another thing is, I don't know why you do this. You just literally what I can do in Svelte is you just declare it topside and then it's fine. But but I suppose this is a contrived example just to keep things simple. So
If an object has a subscribe method, then it's a store. So we can return that from our function along with increment. But increment can't just assign directly to count anymore. We need to use this update function with a callback that produces a new value from the old value. And I'm not even going to get into how we would implement doubled here. Once we've done all that, we can create a counter object, update the event handler, and reference the store value by prefixing it with $1. And now our counter works again in a reusable form. Now I'm speed running large chunks of the Svelte tutorial here, and I'm zeroing in on problematic things, but I think you get the idea. There is room for improvement. Let's take another example, a to-do list. In this demo, we have an each block
maybe
with some bindings. When we toggle these checkboxes, we recalculate this remaining to-dos expression down here. I've added some logging so that we can see when it gets called. Notice that when I change the text of a to-do, it recalculates that remaining count, and you can see the count tick up in the console in the bottom right. The way that this all works is that when you update a value inside an each block, Svelte will jump through some hoops to figure out what underlying piece of state may have changed as a result. And in this case, it can clearly see that each to-do is a member of the to-dos list, meaning any changes that happen inside the each block will invalidate the entire to-dos list. As a result, this remaining to-dos expression is reevaluated. The trouble is that when to-dos is invalidated, Svelte needs to check this entire list. It's able to do that pretty fast, but you can imagine that if this list was very long, that would cause a lot of unnecessary work. Svelte 5 fixes all this. It's going to make your app smaller, faster, easier to understand, easier to refactor, more consistent, all around better. And even though I'm going to be showing you some new stuff, the framework is actually going to get easier to learn because a number of the things that you have to understand today will no longer be necessary.
yeah, easier for React developers, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like his choices are, based on the market. And he's thinking more of a market and market terms, He's being paid lots of money to like develop this stuff. Like he has a whole company behind him to pay him to do this stuff. Like especially when he says easier to learn, he's not speaking to Svelte devs. He's speaking to new people. So, obviously, because he wants people to adopt it, which makes sense, And I'd like to see Svelte become adopted more. I'm just not sure I agree with all of his changes. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead. Keep going.
In the new world. Now that sounds like a lot of change. And so I want to reassure you that what I'm about to show you is opt-in. Your existing components will continue to work, and you can mix and match the new mode with the old mode. We are totally committed to this being a seamless upgrade that you can apply incrementally. So without further ado, it brings me great pleasure to introduce runes. A rune is a letter or mark used as a mystical or magic symbol. In Svelte, runes are function-like symbols that provide instructions to the Svelte compiler. The first rune we're going to learn is state. Let's go back to our counterexample. Not our counterexample.
Yeah, and state was actually it's pretty controversial. I think I saw it on Twitter. I think he's on Twitter, right? And I think so someone was talking about what the state hook was and said it was kind of useless and it looks so similar to React. And it does. It looks like a state hook, doesn't it? However, the more I look into this, it seems more like a replacement or a more terse version of like stores for Svelte. So if you're familiar with stores, that's how I understand it.
Our counter example, 2 words. The first thing I'm going to do is use the state rune to mark count as a reactive value. At first you might look at that and think, but why? Maybe you're thinking of the meme. Maybe you're even... You maniac! You blew it up!
You did, though.
Damn you!
Yep.
God damn you all to hell! Bear with me, I promise this will all make sense very soon. You can see that everything just works like before. All we need to do to update this value is assign to it. Under the hood, Svelte is using something called signals to make this work. Count is turned into a source signal. The assignment is turned into a set call. And we have something down here called a render effect that updates the DOM. When this function runs, we call this get function. The count source knows that it should notify that render effect whenever its value changes. If I try and put doubled back in using the $: label, it's going to yell at me because we're now in runes mode by virtue of the fact that we're using the state rune. So instead of that, we're going to learn the next rune, derived. In runes mode, we say let doubled equals derived count times 2. Now, derived behaves a little bit differently to the $: label. Remember before how the values got out of sync? That no longer happens. The value is still recalculated lazily, but it's recalculated when we need it, so it stays in sync.
You know, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of cool that you put derived in there, but like, you know, it was kind of nice if you're gonna do derived values. I mean, yeah, it's a lot. It's a bit more syntax to type just to get a correct, you know, like why not just map, you know, the same syntax to like derive? I feel like that's just kind of like superfluous, you know. It's superfluous and it feels like you're just dancing around the glaring issue with derived. But so I think that's how it should just work like that, you know. Whenever you're doing derived, I think of it I have a lot of view experience, so I would come at it as like to me that's like a computed property, right? It approaches me as like a computed property whenever we're doing derived. So or derived from whatever. I just feel like it just seems kind of unnecessary. Derived just seems kind of unnecessary, and it seems like it's just a very lazy fix to what should be the default behavior. However, I wouldn't say I use derived enough to or the $ syntax to really find this actually useful to me. So if anyone else has uses the dollar syntax and can like provide more information, that'd be very helpful.
You'll also recall that if we refactored this into a function, it would break. That no longer happens because we're tracking dependencies when the expression is evaluated. A few minutes ago, when we tried to encapsulate this logic into a reusable function.
Ah, okay. I think that was the reasoning, probably. Never mind. I take back what I said.
It got a bit ugly. With runes, it is much, much simpler. I can just wrap this up inside a create counter function, and the runes will continue to work. Notice that I'm using a get property here. That's because if I just return count, it'll be whatever the value was at the time the function was called, and we want counter.count to always refer to the current value. What's really cool about this is I can move it into an external module and it still works. There's no code changes necessary. You no longer have this magical Technicolor experience inside your Svelte components, but a lousy black and white one everywhere else. We svelted all over your code base.
I guess, dude, but it looks like you reacted all over it, to be honest. You have state, you know. I feel like it was a very I think he's a lot like Richard Harris, and he just enjoys being controversial just to be controversial, but maybe not. He does have very good arguments for why he does things, but the syntax just kind of irks me a little bit. But I feel like I can understand where he's coming from and why he did what he did. And I don't think he's necessarily speaking to people like me. So
Another example, here we've got a fun little canvas painting app. Inside the component, we have an on mount which runs some code when the component is mounted to the DOM. Below that, we have a reactive statement using the $label syntax. The first thing we need to do is check that our canvas context has been created. If we opt into runes mode by turning this mouse value into reactive state, we'll get a compiler error telling us that we can't use the $label and should use derived or effect instead. So let's learn about the effect rune. Effect is what you use when you want something to.
yeah, this is the one I had the biggest problem with. Although, yeah, effect is the one I had the biggest problem with. But because it looks like use effect from React, and it's just, but it's not use effect. It works very different from use effect. But yeah, we'll just let them continue.
Happen in response to something changing. I'm going to paste this code into our effect. And I'm going to delete the outer if context code. The reason I can do that is effects only ever run in the browser after the DOM has been updated. So context is guaranteed to have been created in onMount. In fact, if we look at the JavaScript output and switch it into SSR mode, we can see that the effect has been completely removed from the output. The onMount is still there though. Now, if you're using SvelteKit or you've managed to set up your build tooling correctly, then that will get removed later on, but maybe we don't need it here either. It turns out that you can use effects instead of onMount as well. Now we can delete the import and see that it's all been removed from our SSR output and everything continues to work.
And see, now it looks very much like React. Although it's a more terse React, and I think that's what Rich Harris intended, what he's intending to do. So you can see, but the use effect also has another feature that you'll demonstrate in a moment. So.
We can also return functions from our effects. These functions will be called whenever the effect refires and also when the component is unmounted. We can also nest effects. So we can put this update effect inside the initialization effect. And now we can avoid cluttering up the top level scope.
Something that I love doing.
All in all, it just allows you to encapsulate your code a little bit more logically than you could in the old world. There's one last rune to show you. It's the props rune. Today in Svelte, if you want to declare a prop, then you use export let, define the prop, and then optionally provide a default value.
Yeah, that's usually how I do it. I mean, I did it for some data API that I still need to fix. I think what I need to do is I need to like process the images a little bit better, because for some strange reason the images are incorrectly sized, and it messes with the graph positioning, the pie graph positioning, which is a bummer, but whatever. So
if no default value is provided, it means the prop is required. If a prop is a reserved word like catch, then we can't declare it locally, so we have to create the prop in two stages. First, we declare a local alias, and then we export the alias to the outside world. If we want to get all of the other props that weren't explicitly declared, we need to use this $rest props thing.
I don't know why you would do that. Like, why would you do that? You just if you're doing that, you're doing it wrong. You're programming wrong. You shouldn't be using the words. You just come up with a different name or a different case, or a different case if you can, like custom catch or like my catch or L catch or whatever the fuck catch. Don't do that.
Finally, we can also export functions. This isn't a prop, it's actually a method on the component. Over in app.svelte, we have a reference to this child component provided by the bindThis binding, and we can call its methods from outside. If we instead use the props rune, we can declare all our props in one go using familiar destructuring syntax. And I can't show you this in the playground because we don't have TypeScript rigged up, but you can also use a type argument here to define the shape of your props. All in all, I think this is a pretty substantial upgrade. So that's a very quick introduction to Svelte 5. There's a lot more cool stuff that doesn't fit into a short video, but hopefully this has piqued your interest. With runes, Svelte becomes a much simpler framework. You don't need to understand the special let behavior. You don't need to understand the dollar label. You don't need to understand how export works. You don't need to switch mental modes between Svelte and non-Svelte JavaScript. You probably won't need to use stores or lifecycle functions. And so when people come to our community in future, they're going to have a much easier time getting comfortable.
Yeah.
I think if anything, I'm more excited about what this means for people who are already maintaining sizable Svelte code bases. We've spent a lot of time converting existing apps and libraries to see how it feels, and it really does feel good. You can't install it yet. We don't have a release date, but the good news is that you can visit this playground right now. Just go to svelte5preview.vercel.app.
Svelte5preview.vercel.app. You know what? Oh, why not? Let's take a look. What kind of time is it? It's like 6:39. Wow, we're doing pretty good on time, honestly. Let's do that. Let's see. See here. Let me duplicate this. Oh yeah, this is tape sync, by the way. This is tape sync. It's my GitHub. Hopefully I'm not doxing myself. Like, cool. That's kind of cool that it just does that. I didn't know it could do that. Hmm. It's like it has like its own little documentation. That's crazy. Awesome. All right, let's go. And we'll say, what will we say? That's right. What did you say? Where did you say it was? Spelt 5 dash, spelt dash 5. So it was like, it's, yeah, it was, okay. Spelt dash 5 dash preview, right? Dot Vercel dot app. Dot Vercel dot app. Whoa. It's like if the state rune's already set up. You know, that's one thing I want to do. I want to see, what I want to see is how the state works, honestly. Because that's kind of cool that they have that set up, because I was actually just wondering about that. So, let's see. Let's call this, what should we call this? Let's call it, component. Okay. Let's see. Let's just call it child component. And, child component. And what we want to do is, let's just say let child state, or let's say we have, what's a good global state to have? Let's just say env, or env equal state or something like that. And we'll say test. And then let's see here. And then we'll also need to import the child component that's spelled. So let's just call this, let's rename this to child. Okay. Going to need a, what do we call it? Script. Oh, nice. Rep was actually not that bad. So we'll say export let. I mean, this would be how I would pass down. This is how I would expect to pass down state to a child component. Um, so yeah, that might be a problem. But whatever. I mean, one way we could do pass a lot of state is we could have it set by the server, right? We could have it set by the server, right? And it could be like a whole bunch of JSON, stringified JSON or something like that. That would be one way to do it. Or it could just be pure JSON. That could work too. Um, just put it as JSON. And then you could export. Yeah. Let's see. Can't be reassigned, but should be able to change properties, right? Because of an object, right? Yeah. So let's see if we can pass an object to it. And we call it our master state, because why not? Export const state. And we'll just read off the state. Say console.log state. We'll just read off the state. That one. And then, oh, I don't know why you did that one, but okay. Yeah, we'll just read off the state. And then we'll just import child from child.svelte, right? Is that how that works? Right? That's how it works, right? What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Oh my gosh. Impose not defined. Unexpected token to 19. Okay. Error fetching child.svelte from unpkg. Does the package exist? Okay. Oh yeah, we forgot to export default. I think that's how we export default child, right? Is that how that works? I forget. Okay. I'm gonna have to they said to expect bugs. Yeah, I forgot how to do this. Let's see. I'm gonna duplicate this. Duplicate. And then we're gonna go to Svelte because ChatGPT doesn't know about this yet. It's not gonna know. Actually, yeah, I've tried. Like ChatGPT gives like the worst Svelte advice, so you really do have to look for the answer, and that's why I'm part of the Svelte community. And so yeah, good news is if you're coming from a new framework and you're doing React, you're probably gonna like it. Not gonna lie. So I mean, don't. I'm over here like bitching and complaining. It was like, "Oh, this looks too much like React," but in the end, tool's a tool. And honestly, it's not like use effect. It's probably honestly better than use effect, right? I mean, you can't nest use effect inside React. React doesn't let you do that. So, but maybe it did that for a good reason, right? I think there probably was a good reason for that, right? But maybe Svelte will be the one that can actually get away with this. So let's see, Svelte dot. Okay, docs Svelte. Yes, yes. I need to look at Svelte components. I need child components. Show me child components. I need to know how to import a child component. But usually, I figured I was just like, you just yeah. Maybe I just need a store contract. Well, that's kind of cool. Create your own store style value in Svelte store by implementing a store contract. Oh, okay. Subscribe method. That's kind of cool, but that wasn't what I was looking for. Um, Frequently asked questions. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to look at that. Element directives, component directives, special elements, Svelte components. Let's look at examples. I think examples would be better. Let's take a look at nested components. Import nested from nested.svelte. And what does nested.svelte look like? Don't affect this element. Literally nothing. Cool. All right. So we probably just need to do this. And we'll just import this down here as child. And if it has a problem with it, path resolve, whatever. About that. Okay, fine. We'll rename it. Expected token. What do you think is an unexpected token? What I want to know. Let's see. Child shield.spoke. Yeah, but it's right there. It's right there. What are you talking about? It's right there. The fuck? The fuck? It's so. Let me check something here. This doesn't make sense to me. Let's go to REPL. Let's go to. Let's What the fuck? Okay. So if I go to the REPL, right, I should be able to do this. So let's say, yeah, let's call this child, right? Okay. This is child with a capital C. This might be better. So we'll say, let's just do the same nest example. I am a child wall. Okay. And say import child from child.svelte, right? And then we'll say child. Does the package exist? What? It's right here. Do I have to do this? Please log in before saving your app. Fuck, what? Oh, okay. 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 Is that how that's supposed to work? Is that how that's supposed to work? Wow. Fine. Fine. Whatever. Jesus. That's so annoying. That is so annoying. Unexpected token. Child.spelt 320. 320. Okay. Oh, do I need to like give it like an initial state or something? Let's set it to object. I'm gonna just do let because we want to set the state eventually. So is that how that works? Is that better? Is that better? Impo is not defined. I don't see any impo right here. Jeez. Jeez, this is so scuffed. Yeah, this is so scuffed. Weird console. This is too terrible. We'll just wait. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about this anymore. I want to move on to other things, honestly. Um, let's see. Let's check out another opinion that this man has. He did mention something about state, something like that. But yeah.
We have docs, we have an FAQ, and a link to the Discord server so that you can come and ask your runes questions in the Svelte 5 runes channel. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the hard work done by the team on this. This wasn't easy. It took a lot, but hopefully you'll agree that it's going to be worth it. I want to thank the Svelte ambassadors who have given us a ton of great feedback that's helped us refine the design. I want to thank all of the other framework communities whose research we're very much building on top of. Good luck catching us now. And I want to thank you.
Good luck catching us now. Huh?
See you in Discord.
Okay. Oh, he's in Discord? That's kind of funny because I've never actually seen him in Discord. I've never actually talked to the guy, which is weird. I guess it's because I'm not in that enough, honestly. Maybe I haven't spent enough time. I haven't like been autistically trying to hit everyone up in that Discord. Although someone did say, haha, yeah, the use effect does seem to trigger a lot of people, who are using Svelte who didn't come from React, but or people who are trying to get away from React too. That there might be people like that too. That's kind of funny. Yeah. That's funny. Let's see. But yeah. Maybe I should do a face like that. Maybe I'll get the views. I'll have the tuber face. Like I'm about to take in like a large ass cock in my mouth or something like that. Jesus. Svelte rooms. Awesome or awful? That I kind of saw this morning. Yeah, Runified Gist. Ooh, okay. I want to see more from let's see, Rich Harris. I know Rich Harris. Here he is. Here he is. This is a good one.
Or
and this one's
so the other day
and this one's all about state, right? So he really goes into detail about why state's much different. And honestly, this will probably be a better explanation than I'm able to offer you with this scuffed whatever this is. It's very scuffed. So if I'm to expect bugs, I will expect the bugs. Oh, there's a status update. Oh, that's cool. Svelte ready yet? No, obviously not. There's a lot of tests. A lot of tests. Compiler errors, tests. I mean, it's pretty dang close. I can see why he announced it, so yeah. Alrighty then. Announce it when it's almost done. Good idea. Alright.
we introduced runes, which are going to be the new way to deal with state in Svelte 5 and beyond. The reaction has been remarkable. Million+ views on the tweet, top of Hacker News, takes everywhere. Overall, very positive reception. So, thank you for putting your faith in us. Even outside the Svelte community, people seem pretty excited. Every framework community was tripping over themselves to be like, hey, this looks like our thing. They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I actually think the most sincere form of flattery is accusing someone of copying you. I guess I should set the record straight on that front. We essentially designed this stuff from first principles, based on everything that we've learned since Svelte 3 came out in 2019. But
as someone who has made a framework before, albeit not a JavaScript framework, what I did is I stood on, I did my research, right? I looked at other frameworks and I saw what they were doing and I thought to myself, how can I make this better? You know, what are the other frameworks not doing that I can include in my code? I'm starting to think. I think he's starting to be a bit more of thinking more business-like. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's a bit of both, you know. But I feel like he's like he didn't have to choose that syntax. For example, it could have been, you know, maybe dollar sign colon, and then that would have been a rune, right? And that would have been the rune, you know. But and then have like the function like that, so it would look something like hold on, let me just like whenever you tell me what a rune looks like, I'm expecting something like this. Rune here, rune here, lol. Like that's what I'm expecting, right? That's what I'm expecting. He could have done that, but he did. You know, like why not? You know, he's obviously trying to pander to the React people, trying to get them to come over, which is, you know, pretty obvious. You know, I'm not buying that. You know,
The intellectual context in which we did so was very much influenced by the work of Ryan Carniero on the Solid team. So everyone else, I'm afraid we weren't really thinking about you, but I'm glad you like it anyway.
I knew
That
it.
said, there were some naysayers, and the bulk of the negative reaction that we saw was basically, I don't want to have to write getters and setters everywhere. Or you know, this is way more code for basic things. Even the great Fireship, who I have boundless respect for, got this totally wrong. And that's our fault because we didn't do a good enough job of explaining it. So in this short
So yeah, he released that first video I showed you, then he released this one after Fireship started to shit on him. So, which makes sense. He didn't really explain it. Like the way he explains it is just it's kind of bad, you know. And he does say he's glazing over a lot of things, so I think we can forgive him for that.
video, I want to explain what getters and setters are, why we're using them, and why it's not going to result in you writing a bunch more code. So first up, what are getters and setters? Well, imagine that I'm creating a create counter function in regular JavaScript. I type create counter up here, I declare a count value, I add an increment function, and then I return count and increment directly down here. And then I call the function to get a counter instance.
How?
I log counter.count and I get 0. Great.
Great.
Now I increment the counter like that and log the count again. It's still 0. What happened? Well, you can see what's happened. The count is fixed at the time we call the function. We're just returning an object that has a count property whose value is 0. And the way that we fix that is with a get property. So I'm just going to copy this code. And this time we're going to do get count. And then we're going to return count like that. Right, and then if I do counter equals create counter.
Oh, I see. He's saying it's baked into the language. That's what he's going to say next. I just remembered.
Counter.count, 0, obviously. Counter.increment, and then counter.count again.
Because remember, everyone, a function in JavaScript is actually an object. But it's also, you can also run procedural code in it. But you can also make it a pure function. JavaScript is crazy, dude. JavaScript's crazy. But it is a beautifully wonderful, it is a wonderful language. It is a wonderful language. So
we now get 1, which is what we want. Now we could also have a corresponding set property, which would mean that anyone who had a reference to this counter would be able to set the value of counter.count to whatever they wanted. But that's not what we want in this case. We only want people to be able to increment this, this value. You'll notice also that we can't destructure the value. We can't do const count increment equals counter. I mean, we can, but now if we call increment like that, then it's not going to do anything useful. We're always going to get the same value because the get method is invoked at the time of destructuring. Now, if this syntax is new to you, then this might all seem a little bit weird, a little bit funky, but you actually use this stuff every day as a web developer, whether you realize it or not, because web APIs are full of this sort of thing. So here's an example. If I log out location.href, I get example.com. If I set location.hash equals hello, then, oops, syntax error.
Nice.
Then you'll notice that the URL bar is actually updated here because we're not just setting a property, we've invoked a setter function. And then if I log location.href again, you'll see that that new hash is part of the string that gets returned because we didn't just get access a property, we invoked a getter function. So this is all just JavaScript. This is just how the language works, and it'd be pretty weird, honestly, if it worked any differently. So what happens when we throw runes into the mix? Well, the only difference between this and what we had before is that we have this state rune in our declaration. And what this means is that Svelte now understands that wherever this value is read, for example, inside this expression right here, that thing will need to update if the count value ever changes, for example, because someone clicked this button and ran this function. That's all. That's the only difference. And so at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I understand that, but why getters? Why isn't it just a normal method? And it totally could be like we could do this instead. Just a normal method, and then we invoke it inside the template, and it will continue to work. You can do that. It's your choice. The reason that we prefer getters is threefold. First, and maybe the least important point, it's idiomatic, right? Property access is how we read and write values in JavaScript. There's a reason that we don't have location.gethref and location.setHash, for example. It's just not idiomatic. Secondly is because of TypeScript. And this is a little easier to show rather than describe. So I have a little demo here.
All right.
So here we have a function that returns an object with a pair of methods, get and set. And the thing inside it, this type argument, this t value, could be anything. So down here, I have user, which is a wrapper of user or null. Like we don't know which one it is. And now down here, we have some code that runs when there is a user value. When we call user.get, there is a value, means the user's logged in or whatever. And so inside that, we can do some console.logging. But
okay.
TypeScript thinks that this value here could be null because that's what this function returns, because that's the value of the type argument.
I literally can't read what he's seeing here. Let's see if we can like fix this shit. Hold on. Can I get that? Can I get that? Oh, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. Okay, that's much better. Like, I don't usually use TypeScript a lot, but yeah, you have this classic TypeScript problem, right? User or null, and then if you do user.get, oh, this is the reason why he wants this is because TypeScript compatibility, okay, you know, which maybe is a useful thing for you. However, I try to avoid putting types in my properties. I try to keep strings or numbers inside my objects as much as I can, and then let functions, you know, edit that as much as I can. However, this is unavoidable sometimes, so then we have to do type checking, which is, you know, that's just what you do. So,
and so we get this red squiggly here, and we have to fix it by, you know, we could make a non-null assertion, or we could have a temporary variable like const u equals user.get, and then
non-null assertion is good.
If u, and then the same thing inside there, like all of a sudden it works, but like ain't nobody got time for that. Another approach that we could do is we could use the getter and the setter, like here. So now we have get value and set value, and down here, TypeScript understands that if user.value, which here could be user or null, inside that if block, we know that it can only be a user, and that's something called type narrowing. And when you have a function call between you and the value that you're trying to access, TypeScript starts to get a little bit confused. Unless you're using getters and setters, because it understands that those are idempotent. Finally, in Svelte, we have bindings, right? If we look at our fine-grained to-do example, which you can find in the docs over here, then we have these bindings inside the template, which if I toggle these, you can see that remaining count.
Bindings are really cool, especially when you have like when you have stuff for like this. Just for checkboxes is it's just wonderful. I love it.
Changes. And the reason that we can do this, and then we don't have to have all of this laborious event handling code, like I need to remember what the event is, like blah, 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 blah. The reason we can do that is because we have this symmetry between reads and writes. But, okay, so the main thing people were worried about was I don't want to write all of this shit all over my code base. And
Same.
you're not going to have to for two reasons. The first is that you only need that stuff when state needs to cross a scope boundary. And what I mean by that is within the scope where a piece of state was declared, you can interact with it directly, right? You only need to provide a getter or a method or whatever when you need to read the value outside that scope, as in our counter example. Most of the time,
That's actually a very valid reason to do that. But anyways, with state, as I've mentioned in previous streams before, and as I will mention again later this week in a upcoming video, you want your state to be predictable and not mutate when you think it's not mutated. You know, you need it, so it needs to be immutable, right? And so we take copies of the state and mutate that, and then write to the state. And that's the whole point of having, you know, a state in the first place, you know, is to have a reliable store of your local application data that you're going to use later. So
when you're dealing with state, you're doing so locally. Either it's component state or a prop, which also doesn't need this treatment, or you're writing some complex business logic where most of the state references are internal and you just need to expose the end result of some process. So even though we've been focusing on this case in the blog post and the video and all of that stuff, in order to show how the new stuff works, it's really the exception rather than the rule. And the second reason is that we're going to develop patterns for dealing with this stuff. Right, so let's take Fireship's example where we have a piece of state that we want to interact with outside the scope of this module. So here's that implemented here. Right, we're exposing a writable store as a count, and then inside our app, we're interacting with that store and reading the store value. So in Vue, we might use something called a ref. And a ref looks a little bit like this. All right, let value equals state initial. And then we'll return get value, return, excuse my inability to type under pressure.
Lol.
And then the corresponding setter.
It's okay.
Right, and then we, instead of using the writable function, we'll just use ref. And then inside here, we'll change these to count.value.
Count.value.
Right, and it just works exactly the same way as it did before. So you can imagine that this is imported from a utility module or somewhere. Maybe it's even exported from Svelte itself, TBD. So you're not having to re-implement that every time you want to have some piece of state that is shared between different components. If you prefer Solid's approach to Vue's approach, they have a create signal function, which looks like this.
I've never tried Solid.js.
And again, we're just going to create a reactive piece of state. And then this time we're going to return a pair of functions, one for reading the value and one for writing the value. Right, and then we could do export const get count set count equals create signal 0.
Okay, yeah.
Like so, and then
signal based signal. Yeah. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. More terse. You're using return functions instead of using a dumb little object. And this is better. This is better. I like that better.
Equals create signal 0, like so. And then inside here, we could do get count set count, and then this would become get count, and then inside the event handler we want to do set count like this, right? Ooh. And it works just the same way. So we can implement all of these different reactivity patterns using the primitives, right? And candidly, we just don't know yet what is going to end up feeling most natural. So for now, we're just giving you these primitives in a very raw form, and we've already seen people produce some really interesting abstractions on top of them for doing things like deeply nested reactive objects. By the time Svelte 5 ships, we'll hopefully have a clearer picture of this stuff. So we'll know what we're going to include in the framework to make dealing with this stuff feel very natural and very lightweight. All right, so I hope that clears things up a bit. Keep the feedback coming. It is super helpful. Bye.
Right. Oh, okay, okay.
Hey.
You got it. So yeah, what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I really had a key. Get a key. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna set it to the loading screen again. Please wait. It'll be a minute. Sorry. Go man. We will get to let's get to programming something, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Sure, yeah. I'll be back in a second. Oh my god. Where's my mic now? Damn. There it is. Okay, I'm back. Oh, it must be my noise cancel. That's why. Okay, let's get some music going on here. So. Yes. So Svelte runes, are they good? Who knows? We're just gonna have to wait and see. Honestly, I would wait and see on this. I think state's gonna be pretty nice to use, and yeah. I think a lot of React people will like it. I think it's okay. But honestly, I just prefer using more of a JS approach to things, and I don't mind polluting my top scope. Honestly, maybe some do, but at that point, it's just like, well, I don't know, just move it into a different component. Like you can do that most of the time anyway. So yeah. But yeah, I would like to try effect. I would like to try that. Use that effect rune. That does seem like it would be very useful. Yeah. I think the reason. Oh yeah, my eye on my right eye. So I have like I have something on my glasses. Let me take them off for a second. God damn it. I have a special cloth to like clean them, but yeah. I don't know if that really helps. I guess it does help a little bit, but yeah. All right. Let's get some music going. And let's get back to the problem at hand. So, Hono.js. What is Hono.js, right? Supposedly it's the newest super duper fast, right? JavaScript backend framework, right? 9 times faster than Express, although a little anemic when it comes to like doing basic things like, I don't know, serving an index.html. There are a few ways around this, right? Hold on. Is that music too loud? Let me check. Set it down to -40, maybe. Yeah, that might be better. I'm gonna set... Yeah, I'll set it down to -40, and I'll set that down there, and everything should be fine. Okay, cool. So yeah, interesting problem. I've been looking into, some people say, oh, let's try do readable stream to web, right? Import readable from stream. So like, I don't know how I'm gonna like get that, to be honest. What I was thinking, there's 2 ways we could do this. We could start searching the node docs, and we could start, we could ask ChatGPT, right? It's like, I tried to ask it, hey, do you know how to do that in Hono.js? It's like, I don't know. I was updated in 2021. I don't know nothing about that. Congratulations, we're smarter than we're gonna be smarter than ChatGPT for a little bit. But yeah. File path, read file. Read file is actually, from what I understand and what I'm reading here, someone actually did get this to work by doing read file sync, which is bad practice apparently. This will read the entire file into memory before sending it. That is not acceptable as more than a proof of concept, and this should be fixed in that package as well. So yeah, but that is pretty bad, honestly. I looked through stream and web stream and file system docs, and there's so many things that sound like it's going to be the thing I'm looking for. Stream, readable stream, but I can't figure out how to convert or wrap any of these into a web stream. I had this working in Express only because Express provides a helper function to do it, I guess. What I'm thinking is we look at Express, right? I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. And we see how Express does it. And if we can mimic that in, in our code, right? Or what is supposed to be in Hono.js. If we can do that in Hono.js, then we can finally serve our index.html. And then get to the task of, using WebSockets in order to create a chat room, in order to make a playable game with an AI, right? So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. It's all part of the plan. Oh yeah. So this, I have also lovely Hawthorne treats got from the Asian store, and they're so great. Hawthorne is interesting. I should do like a Japanese treats segment because I may not be a cute anime girl. It would be nice to like just like do like a hand cam thing where I just do like Japanese treats or something. I might just post that. But yeah, or just random treats I find from Asian food markets and just try them out. I mean, I got like some Asian crackers up there, but yeah. It's like a fruit roll up, but it's made of hawthorn. Hawthorn tastes a lot like cranberries, is what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna munch on that for a bit. Yum. But really, it's the aftertaste that sets it apart. I'll let you know. Wait a second, this isn't cranberries. And it's a very unique aftertaste too. Yeah. Supposedly it was used for like circulatory problems. But like, as far as I did research, the little research I did, I had conflicting answers. One website says, oh my gosh, yes, this will help, with your heart and circulatory system. because it has so many flavonoids and whatnot. It's kind of like strawberries, I guess. But also, there's no evidence that it, improves heart or cardiovascular health in general. So on WebMD, so we have two conflicting answers there. Who's right? Nobody knows. Oh yeah. Okay. How about stream textures? Hmm. We could do something like return that. That would be dumb. Why would I do that? We respond as a simple stream. Hmm. Yeah. Let's see how it react. Let's see how Express does it. So let's go search for Express. Right? Wow, that's an interesting bug. Check this out. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh my god. Let's close that down. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. That's a whoever did that needs to fix that. That's dumb. That's dumb. Okay. I don't want to search that anyway, so let's do Express. Here we go. And I want to see, let's see, fixed routing request without method. Examples. Let's take a look at lib. That's what I want to see. Middleware, router, application, express, request.js, response, uh, route.js. Let's check middleware. Init, query. Let's try router. See what's in there. And I am looking for render. And I will keep doing this. Oh, it's probably in response.js, isn't it? Here we go. That's one of 8 matches. Render view. Let's give them options. Here we go. Res render. All right, here we go. So I'm probably gonna have to take a little closer look at this function here. But this is how it renders. Okay. Let's see. Press next, self-send string app.render, view options done. Okay. And I want to know where the view is. Where's that defined? Okay. View options callback. Okay. So usually you would pass in view, right? Or file name. So let's see here. App done options requests, self this, just this, first to this function, I think. Merge response to locals. Done equals done. Default callback to respond. Okay. But since default callback whether you do it or not. Makes sense. Don't really understand what's going on here. If I'm being really honest. I guess it goes to app.render, right? it sends it to app.render, which is different from response.render. It sends it to app.render, which is different. And where's app defined? Right. That's one thing I don't see in here. 9. Ugh. I just wanted to find it. Dang it. Okay, find the next one. Yep, 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 yep. What else? Oh, okay. Different part of the page. Part of the page, different part of the page, different part of the page. And we're back to square one. Okay, cool. That's annoying. So, I imagine this is app. Let's see if we can find render here. Not found. Okay. It must be attached as part of this. App.init turn it. Oh, I see. It looks like they have their own little, yeah. Their own little, they use body, looks like they included body parser in here, which is interesting. That's cool. Let's see. Maybe it's in middleware, because I know whenever I do Express, I have to declare some sort of middleware in order to serve it, right? What I could do is I could probably try to bring in a library that would allow me to serve it potentially. Module exports function query. About that in init.js. Okay, export step init. Response request next. Okay, rest locals, object and create no. Examples. That's a lot of examples. Index. libexpress. Require libexpress, which includes all the things ever. They're using a mixin? The fuck? Okay. Static cache. Let's see if we can get this to do it. Actually, let's check the solution here. I found this in Hono's node server search static. Let's take a look at that link he sent. New readable stream. Okay. Stream on data. Chunk controller.enqueue chunk. On end. Controller close. Cancel. Stream.destroy. And then you return the body. Interesting. Create stream body. It's interesting. And that's in serve static, which we have pulled in our. I should probably yeah. Let me show you the code here. It's probably gonna be a good idea. Let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. So code editor. I want AI game Svelte. I want you to show that. There we go. Okay, so this is my code right here. And as you can see, having a little bit of trouble setting up static, surf static. We should probably take a look at what surf static is actually doing, to be honest. So go ahead and just do that. And actually, yeah, let's just take a look at surf static again, because since we're here, right? And we're using that. Root middleware handler. Okay, cool. Turn context next. If context.finalize, return next. Const URL equals new URL. C.request.url. File options.path. Decode URL.path name. Const file name. And file name is where? Options.path. Okay. So if I only want to serve, should I serve a directory? Maybe. Yeah, let me check that again. Because in the docs it said I could do something like this. Let's check the docs. Response to the simple stream, argument stream, interfaces, stream text. Yeah, I'm not doing it. Renderer, set renderer. Ooh, what's this? If only I could like pass that HTML as a string, and that would work. But I feel like that's just kind of dumb. I mean, but considering the fact we don't have much, though, we could do it like that. We could do it like that, you know? It's kind of a ugly way to do it, though, if we're being completely honest, you know? Also, another problem is that we have a build system, right? Give me just a second. Another problem is we have a build system that changes what that's going to be, you know, every time I run it, or it's actually watching the file changes right now. So that's not going to work for our situation, unfortunately. So we kind of need something that will serve the file that's being watched, right? And I can use set renderer content. You can utilize C.render to create responses within this layout. The output, which would be that. Why is... Okay, render hello. Set render within a custom middleware. I mean, how much are we actually going to use memory-wise, honestly? Like, let's just take a look at the code here, right? How much are we going to... Like, seriously. All we're shipping is, like 15 lines of code, you know? That's all we're shipping, you know? It wouldn't be a stretch. Maybe we should just, you know, stop trying to make it complicated, and we should just bite the bullet and just throw that on there, you know? Why not? Maybe that would do it, you know? Maybe that's how we do it, you know? Okay. So like, yeah, we'll try a read file sync, and let's try it as they did. Read the entire file into memory before sending it. I found this article which talks about different ways to get a web stream in Node.js. Looking at the documentation here, I kind of want to know why it's not acceptable, honestly, because I'm not convinced. Support was Node.js, 2 sources from Node Stream Web, global variables. Readable stream, response.body. Node.js readables can be to and from writable streams, readable to web, node readable. Node.js writables can be converted to and from readable streams, writable.to web, node writable, writable.from web, web writable stream options. Node.js duplexes can be converted to and from transform streams. I'm not sure what that is. Reading from readable streams. Readable streams let us read chunks of data from various sources. They have the following type. Feel free to skim this type and explanations of its properties. Yeah, I don't know why it's unacceptable. Is it like a security issue? Is what I want to know. Yeah. Is it a security issue? Where you could like inject things into the memory or something? And how would you exploit that? If you could. You know? Like, how would you exploit that? Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know. Creating pipe chains, turning data sources into readable streams via wrapping. Okay. It will not close the file handle automatically, and I don't have any way to close it after returning the response. Well, you could do async await, you know. I don't know if that would work, actually. I look through stream and web stream and file system docs. So many things that sound like it's going to be what I'm looking for. Stream, readable, stream. I can't figure out how to convert or wrap any of these into a web stream. Okay. Maybe we need a platform helper functions also proposed, as I've also proposed here. Will anyone be able to figure this out on their own? 2ality article is 40 pages and doesn't seem to fully answer the basic question of how to open a file. I am so lost. We are trying it here. Okay. Okay. Mistakes from the original code. Let's take a look. This was serve static. This was done. When was this done? January 20th. Cool. All right. This will load the whole file into memory. If you attempt to serve an MP4, that is 1 GB in size. Okay. Okay. Node server. Serve static. C.finalize. Okay. Thank you for, please do 3 things. Prettify the source code. Interesting. So maybe I just need to do serve static or something. And yeah. Maybe it's actually fine. But I don't know why. Okay, Hono.js node server. Okay. So he said that was fixed, which is good. So assuming that this is correct, we... Okay. Well, good thing we're not going to do that. So I guess we're going to go ahead and do that. So, as far as I can tell, that looks like it's okay to do that. Commented on March 3rd. But did it ever get merged? It was closed, apparently. But even if it wasn't closed, let's see. Did this ever get merged? Okay. This is what I want to know. I want to know if this ever got merged. The PR 63 based on this PR is merged now. Thanks. There we go. Support HTTP range requests and serve static middleware based off 18. Very nice. Thanks, merge now. All right. Well, there you have it. We can do it like that. See, it just takes a little bit of reading, you know. Reading is good. So we'll go ahead and we'll do content file sync path. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, cool. How are we doing up there? How are we doing on a code base? Let's open that up. Doing good. Ugh. So yeah, we'll go to our server.js and let's see, app.getRoot. We're going to say app.getRoot. And we're going to say, what are we going to say? Serve static is that. Call it there. Say const content. And do this. Oh, fuck. And if content, return cbody content. So what is our content? We need to pass in a path. And we're going to pass in index.html. Hopefully that'll work. If not, oh, that sucks. Let's see, there's that. Ah, okay. The problem is this isn't wrapped in a function. So we gotta fix that. Let's go to our Hono. Hono desu. Hono desu yo. Let's look. App.use set get res bounce. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. Serve app. App.fetch. You can specify the port number with port option. Okay. Here we go. You can use serve static to serve static files from the local file system. And let's just make sure we have that just in case. But I think we do, so I think we do. Get rid of that. Yeah, we do have that, so that's good. And we have serve static root is, we should set that to dist. Because dist is all we're really concerned about, I think. App.use dist serve static root will be called that. This is what I want to know. This is what I don't understand. Is root like the name of it, or is that the or is that what it's going to be called? That's what I want to know. So I guess we'll just use this syntax and see if that gets us anywhere. Yeah, dist, and then that. Then we get root, search static root. And then we're gonna need the file API, so we're gonna have to import fs from what's it called again? Forget. ChatGPT. How do I import fs again? Yes. See if you can understand my gibberish. Can use the import syntax. Oof. Okay. I have to specify type module. That's not good. Let me see. Did I do that? Let's check our package.json. Oh, we did. Okay, cool. So yeah, it'll work. Probably. Maybe. So In theory, that should work. Let's see. Let's say fs.read file sync. And we might, I don't know if we'll have to destructure it, but I don't think so. Let's see. Let's go ahead and pass a function as we're supposed to. You want to map localhost static to statics and use the rewrite. I don't think I want to do that, though, to be honest. I don't think I want to do that. I thought I did, but I don't think so anymore. Let's see. Yeah, I think we want to pass in a context instead. And that would be better. So we don't need this. This. Get rid of this. Then put there. Get rid of you. And read your sync, read file sync, assuming that we are using that. Let's see if that works. So we will restart the server. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this here, and I'll show you what it looks like when I restart the server. Okay. Come on now. Up with this. And I think it's this one. Figure out which one. That's the front end one. Is that the front end one? No, that's it. That's it. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, good. So it's going to be really simple. We're going to do this. And then I'm going to try localhost again. Internal server error. What do we got? Okay. No such file or directory. So it's like hono dist compose, dist middleware, dist on base. Okay, let's try the current directory. Maybe that will help. Interesting, though. Where's it? There it is. Okay. Let's try this. Current directory, and then, yeah. If that helps. And we'll restart the server. And we have a blank screen. Interesting. Looks like there's nothing. But here's what I do see. We do have our app, and there's a script main.js right there. So in theory, that should be there. That should be there. Let's console.log the content. Console.log content. Because in theory, what should be happening is it should be rendering this app, which it is not doing, and I am very confused. Because, as you can see, It's right there. But you know, it's not there. That should be built. Oh, it's just assets? Is that where it's being posted? Oh my gosh. Okay, no wonder it's not serving anything. Okay. So on top of that, it's gosh. Fine. But assets is that should just work. Honestly, that should just fucking work. I don't understand. So we restarted this, and node server is up and running. Refresh. Same thing. Very interesting. Let's see if we got any console errors. Okay. Get source main.js loading module main.js was blocked because of disallowed meme type application.json. What? Why? Disallowed meme type. Why would that be disallowed? Do I need to set the header? Okay, that's interesting. Okay, should I toggle down to avoid meme type sniffing if content type is provided? This can cause HTML pages to be downloaded instead of being rendered when they are served with a meme type other than text HTML. Make sure both headers are set correctly. Yeah, Hono.js is being kind of a pain right now, honestly. But it is there. It is there, you know. See that body. Let's see what Hono gives us for like response options, shall we? Context, Hono request. Query string patterns, queries, header. Parse body. When we're not doing any posts. JSON. Text. We do is valid. We do path. URL method. Try raw. Request.raw, maybe? That's the request. Let's see, app.all, return c.text. I wonder what we got with C. What can I do with C? Because it seems like they don't have a response. They just have whatever's baked into the app. Mount, router name, show routes, error, not found, base path, route, use, on, all HTTP method. Okay. There's some guides here. Testing, JSX, helpers, middleware, helpers. Funnel request, context. Context is probably what we want. And a request response, you can use the context object, of course. So we literally have to set the headers. Okay. So let's add the headers, shall we? We could, oh yeah, we'd also do like c.html. Let's try that. Let's try .html. That might do something. Okay. That might do something. So then we'll go back. See here. Come in now. And hit that. Give it a second. Run it again. And back to our local host, right? Okay. So, local host, where you at? Where you at, local host? There it is. Okay. Slot meme type, application.json. I want to see if I can actually do a direct read reversal attack. Interesting. I wonder. Hmm. Say, I wonder why it's. I can't believe it says that's okay. That doesn't make any sense. Oh my gosh. Let's see, disallowed meme type. Maybe we really do have to add that. Syntax S type no sniff. I wonder if we can actually like take a look at that through the network requests to see what's going on there. That might give us a clue. Let's see. And I want to see. Okay. It's expecting text HTML. Date. Accepts text HTML. Image. ABI. WebP. Okay. I want it to accept CSS and JS though. That's the thing. I don't know if it's no sniff though. Okay. Ugh, it is almost 8. I'm getting tired. I shouldn't be tired, but I woke up early and I've been doing that a lot, and it's just it's starting to wear down on me, you know. I went in the stream going pretty tired. Isn't that kind of new? Vector traverse? No. Okay. That's not going to change anything. Well, we do know how to set that though. No sniff blocks a request if the request destination of type style and the meme type is not text.css or of type script, and the meme type is not a JavaScript meme type. So we can probably set that header. Maybe some magic will happen. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. Will it though? I have no idea. We can get JSON typed response, get not found, get a redirect, stream text response. Can add an X debug. That's interesting. Okay. But what I want to do is I want to set the headers. I think that was above, so let me check above. What's going on here? EMV. Cool. Ono's really bare metal. Really bare metal server. That's what I'm starting to find out here. Kind of reminds me of Koa in a lot of ways. C.header. Okay. I'll try C.header then. Oh, that's cool. We got a buffer. That's very interesting. When we constant log the content, it's a buffer. Very interesting. All right. Let's C.header. And we'll just pass these in as 2 strings. And that might work. So let's try it. Let me start the server. Okay. And we'll go back to localhost. Interesting. And the same problem. I don't know why it's trying to do application.json though. That doesn't make sense to me. Did I type that right? Do plain text, but I don't see the point of that. Maybe what we could do is we check to see how it's done in like Express. That might be something I might try later. But yeah. Maybe I'll keep going till about 8:30 or something. Maybe we'll stop at like 8:20 or something, and then we'll kind of wind down after that, I think. That's what we'll do. I might be back later. Might have to think through some stuff, you know. Oop, I don't know what I put there. Oh yeah, Sawa, right? It was like Sawa had like her she had her account like taken down by Twitter for like the copyright or something. Apparently that's still a thing, you know? Very weird. Very weird. I don't know why that's a thing still. But yeah. Ugh. That's not working. Why is that not working? I need to add. Go shoeless. We still have access to see that header. Let's try reading the docs again and see what we can do. Maybe it's the response headers we need to append or something. And we do that. And that's how you do that. So we do c.response.headers.append. Maybe. Hmm. I wonder why they do await.next. Hmm. We can write streams. We can do not found, HTML, JSON, see text. Okay. Let's just try it. Start the server. Byte. And let's see if something happens. Same problem. Same effing problem. And the server shows no issues. Disallowed meme type. Header allows you to avoid response HTTP header is a marker used by the server to indicate that the meme type advertised in the content type headers should be followed and not be changed. Okay. Okay. I want to know what the other options are. No sniff, case sensitive. Okay. To determine no sniff header lists from these steps. Okay. Let values be the result of getting, decoding, and splitting X content type options from lists. If the values are no, then return false. If values first result of the ASCII case sensitive match for no sniff should then return true, otherwise return false. Okay. Should response to request be blocked due to no sniff? Okay, I can't. Okay, to determine no sniff with response header list is false, and return allowed. Okay. Let meme type be the result of extracting a meme type from the response header list. Let destination be request destination. If a destination is script-like and a meme type is failure, or it is not a JavaScript meme type, then return blocked. Not a JavaScript meme type. Not a JavaScript meme type. What is a JavaScript meme type? JavaScript meme type is any meme type with the essence of which is any of the following. Okay. And then the resource. Resource is supplied meme type, no source flag. Okay. Okay, maybe we need to add text JavaScript. Maybe if we add a header, that would magically do it. I don't think it's going to work, but, you know, if that's the issue, you know, it can't serve JavaScript or something, you know, maybe that might be it. But, I think we have to add something. And let's take a look at Hono.js. Oh no. See the text. Oh, that's interesting. So, like, okay, so if it's text, we can actually pass in arguments, which is interesting. Content type application JSON. Well, we're not turning that. What if we said text plain? Let's see what happens when we use text. Let's see what happens. I think it's what it's going to do. It's going to like show us like text. That's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. If not, it's a very interesting way to learn a framework. So, okay. Internal server error. Why? Application is not defined. Server.js 19.2. What are you talking about? Oh, I goofed. I left something in my file. Oh my gosh. That's silly. Let's fix that. And try again. And of course, we get it in text, which is great, but what needs to happen is this. This needs to, yeah. I don't know why why is it serving source? Why is that source? That should be like, what the fuck? That's interesting. Script type module source main.js. That should be, dist. What? What? What is going on here? Okay. Let's see here. So it's thinking it's serving from this? What? What? Oh my gosh. So you're telling me just trying to serve this. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. This is of course it's not gonna show anything. Oh my gosh. It's not even serving from dist. What the fuck? Okay, okay. I know what the problem is. Okay, okay. Okay, so fine. Dist. Index.html. Very well. And we'll get rid of this. And that should fix everything. That should fix it. And when we this, and then we do this, that still doesn't fix it, but we have the right resources, which is good. However, let's take a look at our network requests again. So perhaps what I have to do here is I have to make separate routes for these things. I really don't want to have to do that, honestly, but if I have to, you know. But it's not really working as like I expected, you know. It's not really serving it. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong here, but at least we are serving the right file now, which is a step in the right direction, right? Let's take a closer look here. Let's see, set render. Presets. That doesn't help me. Oh, no stacks. Alright, let's try Node.js. Oh, I wonder what others is. Now fly, Superbase. Alright, don't care. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Touch. Static. Huh? Huh? Dist. Rewrite request path. Maybe that's what I have to do, and I have to rewrite that as root or something. But I don't know how that's going to work out, so... But I was also using the wrong effing path earlier, so... Maybe it'll work this time. Maybe this time. This. Okay. Okay. Root. Is that... I have to do this syntax, I think. Right. Serve static root. Rewrite request path. Statics. And maybe... Oh, wait a second. What if... That's how you do it. And then, right, you say app.get root, right? Is that how you do it? And you say context that, yeah. Then you can say, just copy this BS. Hmm. Confused I am. Confused I am. Yes. Very confounded. Okay. What else? File sync. And maybe that will do the job. It's probably not the best way to do it. Maybe it'll crash. But if it works... Come on, baby. No. No. Why not? Why you no do this? Oh, it's because I'm not serving this. Just as root and then assets. Okay. But it's not JSON. What the fuck? Wow, this is really frustrating. Well, I guess it is to 2020. Oh, 820. 2020 if you're like on 24-hour time, but yeah, so oh Jesus. I guess we'll just wrap this down for a bit. Maybe we'll look at a couple memes or something, you know. I am kind of tired too, so you know. Yeah. Oh wow, we had people pop in. That's kind of crazy. I'm surprised people were popping in, you know. That's cool. I'm glad people stopped in, you know. But yeah. Let's do a few things. Shut this down. And we'll put this elsewhere. That's probably going to confuse OBS. So let's turn that off. Code editor's done. That's done. And what else? What's good? What's good? What's good? About about this? We'll go Fetty. We'll go Fediverse. Fediverse. Hopefully, yeah, it should be fine. Should be fine. Yeah, yeah. You know, you have to be careful on what you click on here for sure, you know. But you know, as long as you're careful, it should be fine, right? So yes, using Hono.js was a very difficult proposition, but I wanted to try something new. And yeah, serving a file with Hono.js is very difficult, apparently. Um, we seem to be able to serve the index.html. However, it seems to be that we can't get the other ones to work, which is very frustrating, you know. But oh well, oh well. That's just how it goes. That's just how it goes. Let's see what we got here. He walked up to me, up close and fearlessly. I respect that. He didn't give a damn about me. He just wanted to get shit done and keep it pushing. He didn't even look at me. He didn't look at me. He just had in his peripheral vision just in case I tried anything. Boy, that bird can see you. His eyes are on the side of his head, not the foot. You ain't in his periphery, you silly. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let's see. What else do we got here? Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Everyone's getting a little spooky today. Everyone's all ready for Halloween. Halloween's great too. I wish I could go get candy again without, you know, looking old. Ha, 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 ha. Nice. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's getting renoted. It's getting renoted. It's renoted. Yep, 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 yep. What else we got? Oh, got a lot of red-haired girls. Got a lot of red-haired anime girls. But no Asuka. No Asuka. Oh, oh yeah, this one. This fucking image right here. Great image. Irks me a little bit, you know, makes me feel guilty that I haven't been living my life properly. But then again, how could I? I don't look as good as this man. I'm not social. I'm sitting here in my computer doing nerd work and just kind of like fucking around, you know. Just I don't know. Just makes me feel guilty. And the people of the like three people apparently that reacted this and felt attacked. From what I understand, someone actually really decided to do a deep dive into this. Chris Reagan actually did like a really deep dive into this and discovered that it was all just people making up straw men of people who actually don't like this. So like the, the woke mind virus is so strong that the people literally imagine it to be alive when no one actually no one actually cared. No one actually cared. You know, it's just a cute little animation. Nobody actually cared, right? You know, I mean, who wouldn't want this? Exactly. The only ones who are complaining are the, you know, the terminally online right wing people. I'm just like, I don't know, just manufactured their own outrage. It's amazing. They just literally invented a straw man, and then everyone's like, well, where's he at? Where's he at? Who's the motherfucker? We have to like, you know, everyone's just wondering, wait, where they at? Where's that woke idiot that said the stupid comment about how this is such a terrible thing? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. But yeah, yeah. I'm glad I have filters on this so I can actually use this. Well, someone did some fan art. That's so nice. Lol. 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 Even if oh, do my eyes deceive me? Do my eyes deceive me? It is. It is. Oh, Shiho Sasaki right there in her Wick Donald's outfit. Wick Donald's with a W. Too bad for this lady. 911 doesn't exist in Japan. So now she looks doubly stupid. I don't know what the pizza is. That is so weird. And a grimace shape? Wow. This is all sorts of weird and messed up. But except this part. Except this part. That's nice. That's nice. Cool fan art. Cool fan art. Whoever did this, good job. Good job. He even got the little whatever, the got the little sparklies in here. Got the little, you know, good stuff. Good stuff. Right? Good stuff. Let's see. What else shall we do with that time? Let's keep scrolling. Oh, oh, lovely. Oh, lovely. We have some people making some factions. Good for you. Good for you. Um, I don't know what this is. I haven't seen this anime, but it looks familiar. I feel like I should have seen it. I feel like I should have seen it. Lately, I've been like watching. I've been watching with my anime group on Mondays. What's it called? Love is War, I think. It's like after. It's like the part when Kaguya-sama gets her first smartphone, and then she started leaving class president on red, right? And she had no idea that happened because she's never had a smartphone before. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I just love that series. Love is War series. Just it's just hilarious. It's just so hilarious and good. You know, like I would recommend anyone to watch it if they want a good laugh. You know, of course we got a bunny girl. What do we got? What else we got? What do we got? What do we got? Show me what you got. But not too much because we have to follow the terms of service. I got Michiru bot. There's lots of bots here, but it's like cool. You know, it's cool. Like everyone's chill with bots. You know, nobody's trying to like mess with people or anything like that. So you know, lots of cute posting from the sites that I federate with. You know, I know what this is. Here. I hope you stay this way, completely unable to do anything on your own. Become dependent on me. Rely on no one else but me. Just kidding. Uh... Please don't hate me, even though I'm incompetent. Were you scolded by the master again? Don't worry, even if you are incompetent, young master, I could never hate you. In fact, oh, it's left. See, this is what I hate. I expect to read right to left when I'm reading manga, and then someone posts it from left to right, and then I have to. Oh my gosh. Okay. I hope you stay this way, completely unable to do anything on your own. Become dependent on me. Rely on nobody else but me. Just kidding. Wow, that's not lewd. Um. Oh man, this reminds me of the time uh, me and my ex were getting McDonald's or something, and then literally just kind of like making out in front of the guy who looks like the McDonald's guy who was handing us our lunch, and he looked like Big JB, you know, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a shithead for doing that." I mean, I don't know, man. I was we were feeling what we were feeling, you know. We were kind of high as fuck, you know, and yeah, yeah. Was it a dick move? Yes. Was it selfish? Yes. Was it kind of funny because he kind of looked like JP? Yes. You know. Oh well. So so cool. Everyone's like starting to make fan art of this. It's so cool. It's so cool. I mean, yeah, it's like the worst. It's the worst one ever. Worst corporate food. Worst food you could ever buy, probably. But you know, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. People like their brands. People like their brands, even though they say they don't. They like their brands. What else do we got? Some interesting little Japanese comic here. Okay, right? Cool. Ah, yes, 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 yes. I remember seeing that. Everyone's renoting that. That's the thing. It's like everyone's renoting things, but I wish I could see things that weren't renoted necessarily. Like if I've seen it before, if the picture is like exactly the same, like it should just display all the people who renoted it magically. But maybe that's just kind of a thing when it comes to Miskey and Federation. That just must be a little a thing that hasn't been worked out yet. Must have got. Yeah, there's a lot of NSFW on this server. Not gonna lie. Let's just be real here. And oh, okay, here we go. Corporate America promised to hire a lot more people of color. It actually did. Huh. Wow. Do I have no excuse? Damn, I feel bad now. Like corporate America. Like I have like, oh man, what am I doing with my life? Seriously. But who though? Who though? And which companies? S&P 100. It's interesting. And are they all like poor jobs, or what kind of jobs is corporate America adding? You know, like what kind? That's what I want to. Winner of the Holy Gab War. Is anyone ever on Gab anymore? Like, I don't know. I feel like everyone, ever since like Elon Musk got took over Twitter, everyone just flocked back. Everyone that was like, oh well, it's cool now. We post again. Our savior is here. Our savior Musk is here. You know, I have the suspicion that nothing really changed that much, but everyone just felt encouraged to speak their mind more often. You know, I just and speak their mind when maybe they really don't need to. You know. But yeah. All right, it is 8:30. I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. I might come back later tonight, like 2 a.m. You know, because I remember the last time Yuki was here. You know, she like came at like, or they like came at like. Sorry, they. Yeah, I should probably say they because that's more polite, right? Is that not polite nowadays? I don't know. But they came around about like 2 a.m. ish my time. But you know, I should probably take a nap in between then. You know what? That's fine. That's fine. I'll see you guys Thursday, most likely for sure. 6:30 probably, because yeah, actually, yeah, I gotta be there at 5, and then it's an hour to get back. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Matinee. Oh wait, I gotta clean this up. This is bullshit. Ja, matinee. I will see you Thursday for sure. Might come back at 2 a.m. Might start streaming at 2 a.m. So check back for that. If you're interested and just want to like, I don't know, bother me, watch me code, you know, some chill music, maybe work late at night if you're into that. Okay, bye bye.